In this episode of Try New Things, we do a little bit of digging, a little bit more digging, and we get itchy. Now, if you watched my garden expansion video this spring, you would have seen me say, I want to cut this back, slope it down to the garden where I cut into the bank. Again, I had to terrace everything because I'm on a slope, but I want a gradual slope here down to the garden so that I can eventually use my zero turn and drive all the way down to the garden there. So that was one thing I wanted to do once it got drier. And it is drier, and we have the backhoe, so that's one thing I want to work on. Down here at the entrance to the garden, where I bring the tractor in, I've got a dip right there in center of frame. And I don't know if you can see all the scratches. I've been coming at this from different angles. But what I found out is that dip is deep enough that I'm dragging my implements when I'm trying to get into the garden with the tractor. So I've got to sort this out. And I think I'm going to sort it out by putting in a drain in that depression that runs up here close to the base of this tree. Now this is the natural runoff for the hillside down here through these trees and through that little gully I showed you. But when it's really raining, there's actually a wet water spring that appears just to the right of that tree that's center of frame, the base of it. Water will shoot out of the ground, run down through this gully, past where I was scraping with the implements, and down the hill. So I think I might put a drain here, run it underneath to that flag, and then fill this in to level it off a bit so I'm no longer dragging my implements. But that's another job for a backhoe as well. But we might as well go ahead and get started. Well, I must say, in my not so humble and very much biased opinion, this definitely looks like it's going to be a mowable gradient. So I'm happy with that. Now it's time to move on to the next project, which is that drain and filling in the dip at the entrance. Welcome to the next morning. We're back down here at the garden, and I'm out here as early as I could muster because it's going to get really hot today, and the job that we want to do first is one that requires long sleeves. So you probably guessed it, because of all the dirt, we're going to do some seed and straw, and then we're going to go work on filling that dip. Alright, that job is all done, and I'm already sweaty and itchy, but it is time to move on to filling in the gap at the entrance. And just to show you what I dug up yesterday, I actually removed a lot more soil than I had thought, and far fewer rocks. But yeah, right here is the gully, right there, where all the scratch marks are. And right here is where we're going to fill it in after we put in a drain, because I'm done dragging my implements every time I go in and out of the garden. So there's my shallow trench. It doesn't have to be too deep, because I'm going to end up burying it even further with that pile of dirt. Well, the next thing we're going to do is put in that pipe, and both ends I'm going to wrap in fabric, and then both ends are going to be covered in drainage stone, so be able to drain into the stone here and out of the stone down there. That's the plan anyways. So not sure if that's going to come through, but I now have both ends wrapped in fabric. The pipe going all the way down the trench. Time to backfill it, and then backfill it some more. Not sure how good or how bad this is going to come through on the camera. I don't think that looks too bad. So on the right hand side I've got 12 to 14 inches of fill. Left hand side, none. Just back dragging it back into where I dug the trench. Got to go up to the barn, get some drainage stone to bury the two ends. You can see that's where the water will come out. And up there by the trees where the water is going to go in. So it's time to seed and straw this as well. And I'll have to use my entrance down at the bottom of the hill for a while until this grass is up and takes hold. But that's one more job I needed done that's done, and I'm happy about it. Well, I am surprised I had enough seed, barely, and enough straw, barely, to finish the job. So there you go, there's the entryway all completed and filled in, so I won't drag my implements. Well, there you go. I am thoroughly hot and itchy from all of that seed and straw. And I think we will call it quits on this episode of Try New Things. I want to thank you as always for taking the time to watch me. Hopefully you enjoy watching what I have going on here at the TNT farm. So hopefully it's always something a little bit different to keep you interested. But anyway, if you got any questions about this video or any of my videos, don't forget to leave them in the comments below. Before you head out, give us a big thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye-bye. So now we're going to take a quick break to thank this week's sponsor. And this week's sponsor, like every week's sponsor, is me, Chris Gladstone with TNT Try New Things, where I have started a new website link. Partnering with Buy Me a Coffee is an opportunity for you to check out some of the items I have for sale that you have probably watched the videos on me making. It's also an opportunity to sponsor the channel directly, either through buying me a coffee, or if you're feeling particularly generous, signing up for an annual membership. With that, I'm going to go back to the video.